Ryleigh, how are you doing?
Hello. Hi, Arrow. I am great. I'm so excited.
You're in a place in the world right now where your energy is required because there are so many people. I love me some Billie Eilish, but come on now, we need some happy people like Ryleigh.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That means a lot.
Does that energy come from your yoga? And I'm going to ask you a lot of questions about yoga because there's something that happens in yoga that a lot of people don't tap into. But does it come from your love for yoga?
I think it just comes from knowing where I once was with my mental health
Yep.
and sort of, learning that those patterns aren't always the best for me and just trying my best to always be my happiest self if possible and always just feeding into a positive energy for everybody else around me too. It's really important to me that like I don't know that everyone around me just feels good and yeah, it makes me feel good when others feel good.
Well, there's something that happens at the end of every yoga class or any time that you're with yoga, and it's called nidra. And I just wish that the schools and the different places that teach it would really dig deep into that because that's a form of meditation that really can be used at any time in someone's life. Do you practice nidra or anything like that? Because it's all about unlocking, unblocking, and believing in the presence of now.
Gosh, I haven't done much of that before. It sounds really interesting. I'm still sort of a yoga noob. I sort of do it more so to like center myself and um, keep my anxiety tamed. And it also is really great with keeping myself fit. So I would love to look into that more because it sounds amazing. I follow this YouTube video where they
Yes.
talk a lot about like ocean breathing. I'm
Hmm.
forgetting the actual term now, but that's something that is so beneficial during my yoga practice. And it just helps like really ground you in that moment. But I would love to look into that. Nidra, you said?
It is. It's NIDRA, and it really what it is. It's the resting period at the end of yoga. But see, they don't explain the reason why you're doing it, and the power that is in that. Because you could be there at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, like all creative people are. They wake up, but they start fearing. They start losing faith in themselves. But through nidra, you're given that opportunity to find peace. And some people say, well, I fall asleep. Well, you really don't. All you're doing is you're shutting off your mind.
Wow, I love that. I feel like that's something that would really benefit me, especially as someone who has insomnia.
Yeah.
That sounds like amazing.
Well, yeah, because I mean, I always tell people melatonin. It's not the problem of falling asleep; it's staying asleep. And melatonin doesn't do
Yeah,
jack for me. And and what happened
gives me
was,
nightmares.
is that during my third degree black belt test, when I was breaking bricks with my hands from a push up position, it was like I went into meditation, and I go, that's where I need to be. I need to study the meditation.
Yes. Yeah, that sounds wonderful. You said something about the power of now earlier, and I actually read a book called that earlier in the year, and it was something that had a lot of insightful points too. So I wonder if those sort of go hand in hand, those two things.
Well, they have to because what I mean, as a creative person, because you know that we're always living this. We're in a universe that's further than that what Mars and the rover is up there doing, and so we're either living in the past or we're living in a future that's going to be messed up by people that are going to make decisions. So what do we have? The present. This is what we have. We're in control of right now.
Wow, I love you. What's happening?
Well, because I saw yoga next to your name, and I'm going to go. I gotta ask her. I gotta ask her.
We gotta get on it. Yes, I love it. I love it.
Plus, you're a
Starting
journal.
off the morning right.
Plus, you're a journal writer, and see, I've been daily writing for 26 years. Once again, that's just another form of meditation.
Yes. Oh my gosh. It's so, what I really love about journaling and part of why I do it is that like years from now, I'll be able to look back at all my journals and just see what was going on and see how I was feeling and sort of reflect on all of those things at the same time or reminisce. And I don't know, it's really just something that I value a lot. And I love just to like go into ridiculous amounts of detail every time I'm writing about something that's happening. I'm one of those. I can't just skim. I have to go into it.
Yep, yep. Do you use hidden speak in the way of using words that if somebody picked up your journal, they wouldn't understand, but if you go back, you're going to go, oh, I know exactly what I was going through.
At first, I was like trying to sort of be vague enough that if somebody were to like invade my privacy, they maybe wouldn't know. But at this point, I think I've just sort of let go of fear where that's concerned, because I want it to be just a completely safe space
Hmm.
for myself. And I don't want to worry about what I'm writing for myself, if that makes sense. So I haven't done too much of that lately. And I just have been hoping that in the future, if anyone sees my journal, they just leave it there and don't open it.
I'd like to be the fly on the wall when this moment happens in your life. What happened is that when the day that I stopped hiding my journal or putting my journal away, and what I do is I write and I put it on the coffee table. If you want to know about me, go to the journal. You don't have to ask me questions. Just go to the journal.
Wow, I love that. I love how like open that is, and how I guess vulnerable in a sense that is, like where you are just like, yes, go read, do it.
Yeah, because I mean, we do put our souls in there. But here's the thing, though.
Really,
I
we
mean,
do.
we have that relationship with that page and with the writing instrument and stuff like that. Do you feel that that page is calling out to you, or are you going to the page to tell the page what to do?
Gosh, that is a wonderful question. I love this conversation so much. I think it sort of really depends on the moment I'm writing about, maybe. I sometimes I just feel so called to just divulge so much information in my journal,
Hmm.
and it just feels so right. But sometimes I'm just like, okay, I like this needs to happen. I need to commemorate this moment in my mind and make sure that it lasts forever in some sort of tangible form. And I think it really just depends on the energy I'm feeling that day, I think. And it's either way, it's just so great and so seriously beneficial, I think. And I always try to encourage people to journal, because even if it feels, because I've had some people tell me that like, oh, it doesn't work, it feels silly, and I'm like, don't go into it with a
Yeah.
mindset that like it's such a minute detail. Like it's just something for you, and if it ends up not feeling so relieving as it does for me, for other people, then that's totally fine. But I say go into it with an open mind, because all it is basically just like your brain on paper. And I
Yep.
think that's really wonderful.
What was your last oh wow moment? And I'll give you a good example. The morning I was writing and I said, I don't have a job. I have a choice. Own my own decisions.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Yes, I actually definitely had one of those. That's when you first asked that question. I was like, gosh, I hope I have a good answer, but I think I might have one. And I think it was earlier in the year. Um, I was I was sort of having another sort of bout with depression. It was just acting up, and for a couple months. And I went to my journal, and I just had this realization that, like, not that this is the case all the time for me or everybody, anyone ever, but at this moment in time, I realized that I think I found so much solace in being sad
Hmm.
that I was bringing myself down further. And I think that that was a really important realization when I was journaling, is that like I don't have to be miserable in the way that I was earlier in the year. Like I didn't have to keep letting my mind get consumed by these thoughts. And it's not always controllable, but I think at that time I was just finding so much comfort in my depression that it was lasting way longer than it needed to in that moment in time. And I think that was really important, because once I realized that, things started looking up, and it was it was so important to realize, because um I was feeling really down, and I think my journal was definitely one of the factors that helped me realize that and sort of dig myself out of that hole a little bit.
Were you going through post-production blues where you were being creative and at the end of it, creativity, that creative high is gone and feeling normal felt like it's like I'm disconnected?
Oh, I did after all of this at first, but this was like way earlier in the year, where I was just having my brain consumed by so many
Hmm.
thoughts and doubts. And it was definitely a mentally challenging time. But oh my gosh, after you work on such a big project like this as well, it's really easy to be like, oh my gosh, I was just living the dream and now I'm in my bed, but it's, I think it's just natural, and it's the ebb and flow of life, is that like you do something incredible. And I have been trying my best to live in the feeling of this all rather
Yep.
than live in the feeling of the sadness and some of the sadness of the moment passing rather. But I think it's also really natural to feel all of those things and you shouldn't be ashamed. So I've been trying to balance all of those things lately because I don't want to take away from any of these incredible things happening, you know?
So true. It's all about awareness. It's all about
Yeah.
awareness.
Yes, I love you. Goodness, this has been like so fun so far.
Oh, Ryleigh, we got to do this again. The door is always going to be open for you to come back to this show anytime.
Thank you, Arrow. I would love to so much. I would be honored.
Well, you be brilliant today, okay?
Oh, thank you so much. And I hope you have a great day. I hope you continue being as freaking awesome as you are. I don't need any more than 10 minutes to know you're awesome. So,
Excellent. Have a great day today.
you too. Thank you so much, Arrow.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for having me.